Adriana La Cerva is one of the most tragic characters in The Sopranos, but tragic does not automatically mean innocent. She loved Christopher, loved the life, and ignored the danger until the danger finally turned on her. But is she a victim or a villain? Welcome to J News Reviews. Let's break the code of silence on poor Adriana and plead her case one way or the other. Adriana La Cerva was born into the life. Her uncle Jackie was boss of the DeMeo family, controlling crime in New Jersey. Her uncle Richie Aprile was a mafia legend and a man even Tony Soprano looked up to. The specter of mafia life was always there, looming in the background. Her father was nowhere to be found, and she was raised by her alcoholic mother, Liz La Cerva. In this world, a woman's beauty is her currency. Most fights and disagreements can be fixed by a well-timed gift or money. Like Karen Hill in Goodfellas, she knew the unspoken arrangement between husbands and wives. It's notable that despite Christopher sleeping with dozens of women, we only see Adriana slip up once, almost kissing Tony Soprano in her club. Adriana and Christopher could very well be the next Tony and Carmela. Chris tells her,
Let's just say that Carmela ain't gonna be first lady forever.
their downfall comes from the ever-present need to score and get high. Poor Adriana is physically abused, choked, and beaten multiple times. Even her dog Cosette doesn't escape the path of destruction. Christopher sits on her in a drugged-out stupor as she suffocates beneath him. Adriana truly loves Chris, setting up a drug intervention and eventual rehab. In standard Sopranos fashion, the intervention goes from hilarious insults to Chris getting a straight beatdown at the hands of his closest friends and family. When Adriana reveals that she cannot have his children, it's another nail in the coffin for their relationship. He does love her, but the life will always come first. Adriana becomes the perfect target for the FBI, close to the Sopranos family and naive enough to believe their promises. They blindside her with evidence and threaten her with heavy prison time. We see her mentally and physically crumbling under the weight of her terrible secret. When she's caught covering up a murder in her club, she's out of options. She offers to flip Chris and give them more evidence than they ever hoped for. The FBI cannot resist the idea of getting a made Soprano soldier to become an informant. So in the end, she chooses Christopher and hopefully a new start. She knows the moment they flip, their lives will never be the same. No more Maseratis, expensive jewelry, or power that comes with mob life. They'll be thrown into witness protection and lead boring, average lives.
I'm an average nobody. Get to live the rest of my life like a schnook.
We could never come back here, Adriana.
I don't want to come back. I just want you.
You couldn't even see your mother again.
Believing that Christopher would ever choose her over the life is her last and final mistake. When she confesses working with the FBI, he is speechless. Even with the cheating, physical abuse, and inability to have children, he did love her. He strikes her across the face and begins to strangle her, saying, "I loved you," as the light drains from her eyes. He then lets her go, completely devastated. The life he knows is gone forever. Chris appears to wrestle with the idea of flipping, but we know he will choose Tony and the family. In the original script, David Chase had Christopher telling Tony that Adriana had flipped. Tony tells him that he will take care of it. Drea Di Matteo, the actress playing Adriana, fought against this. She felt it would remove all doubt and tension about Adriana's fate. The viewers at home would know before it happened. She says,
I went to everybody and I was like, I think that they need to get rid of this scene. I was like, this is really not doing this death like justice. This is a big death, you know? And they all agreed, and we went and talked to the writers. And then when the show aired, the scene was gone. That scene would end up in the next season as a flashback.
And so in episode 12 of the 5th season, her world finally comes crashing down. Tony tricks her into believing Chris tried to commit suicide and is in the hospital. She naively falls for this ruse. By this point, she was tired, scared, physically falling apart, and desperate for any chance to be with Christopher. We cut to a scene of Adriana in her car, packed suitcase beside her, driving down the highway, escaping to a brand new life. The reverie is shattered when we realize it was all a fantasy. She's in the car with Silvio, and he's steadily lying to her, telling her that she will be all right. As they drive deeper into the woods, the tears begin streaming down her face. Her fate is sealed, her chance to escape is gone, and she will never see Christopher again. She crawls from the car crying and begging for her life. Silvio executes her as the camera lifts up to the sky. Fans speculated that she may have survived since we never see her on-screen death. When Steve Van Zandt was asked whether Adriana had really died, he answered, "What do you think I was doing in the woods? Shooting squirrels." So the question remains, is she a victim or a villain? Being raised into the life gives her some forgiveness, but she's no angel. She's more of an accomplice to the crime, always knowing where the jewelry, fancy cars, and stacks of money came from. As Carmela said in an earlier episode, she knew there was a broken arm behind the $200 drill that Tony gave to her father. Adriana's collateral damage, enjoying the power and prestige until the wolves came knocking. Sadly, the last year of her life was spent in constant fear and anxiety, daydreaming about Tony finding out and messing up her face before killing her, or the FBI finally losing patience and dragging her to prison for 20 years. Adriana's end is like watching someone drowning in quicksand. And she was guilty. Guilty of not realizing all her pretty things came with a price. And sadly, for believing that Christopher ever loved her as much as he loved the life. So what's your take on poor Adriana? Was she guilty, naive, or trapped? Should she have made a run for it? I'd love to hear from real Sopranos fans. It's one of the greatest shows ever made. Thank you for watching, and check out my other videos right here.